Today we are bringing in the Juniper Studios to service because of the issues I'm having with the driver rear door and window. So if you haven't seen that video where I showed you guys what's been happening, please go check it out. The door is actually opening now. The thing is, the window is not going down. See, so I got to be very careful not to like slam into it or pull it hard, because let's see if I could bring it in closer. Yeah, so the window didn't roll down and the door is open. So we're gonna roll the window down. And now we're gonna close it. So what happens is when I try to close this window by the auto up, it goes down. So it thinks that there's something stuck there. But I'm gonna have to hold it all the way up. Oop, that doesn't even work. Gotta hold it up. There you go. So I have to hold the button up. Now, what I did notice is after the technician left the mobile service, this is not as loose as it was before. But again, I don't want to play around too much with it because I want the service technicians at the service center to see what's going on. So before we leave, what I have to do is I'm going to remove the wheel covers, because all service appointments, they do inspections on the tires, and the PSI, it's at 37, 38 PSI at the moment. So they're probably going to fill it up with air, but you can't get to the valve unless you remove those. So we got to have to remove those. Ooh, without the covers, they look pretty dope. I'm gonna probably leave them off because Austin, who wrapped the car, has some new covers for me that he's working on. So we're gonna leave them off, but this looks pretty cool. All right, so we are on our way. And what I was told, because I went there to try to reschedule my appointment. The original day was the Friday before Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving. And I was like thinking, this is gonna be bad scheduling, I think, because when you drop cars off Friday, my assumption would be no one's gonna work on that. It's a Friday. And talking with friends who dropped off their cars on a Friday, they say it's the best time to drop off the car to get almost a guaranteed loaner, because they're gonna keep that sucker like over the weekend. But the thing is, I'm going to be unavailable Thanksgiving week. So let's say that they finish the car and I'm not available. They're going to start charging $100 a day that they keep the car after they've informed me to pick it up. I don't think it's a new policy. It's a recent policy that they've implemented, and what they told me is they can't overturn it or anything because it's automated. I think I've mentioned this on a previous video. But yeah, so as soon as they notify you that the car is ready, the countdown begins. What the heck is FSD doing? What in the world? That was weird. So what they told me is that they can't overturn the $100 per day. So as soon as they send you the notification, 24-hour countdown begins, and then that 24th hour, they're gonna charge $100 per day that they keep the car. So I'm like, yeah, that ain't. If you can find me another schedule, maybe earlier or after Thanksgiving. So they were able to schedule me earlier, a few days earlier than the original day. There's a couple of things that concern me. Number one, if you haven't seen the Cybertruck video where they fixed the cant rail recall, Yeah, but I've been having good luck with Model 3 and Model Y at the service center. So I don't want to break that luck because I've gotten my cars back, my Model 3 and Y in the past with no additional issues. So I don't want to start that streak now. So, but the other concern is because the door is like functioning as intended within spec, regardless of like the notes that was entered into my ticket, like they're not gonna troubleshoot or maybe replace that harness that was loose that the mobile technician has found a week or two ago. And so they're just gonna calibrate the window. It's gonna work for a few days, and then we're back to square one. So that's what I'm concerned about, that's how they're gonna do it, because it's working. Well, the door is working, the window isn't. So they're only gonna fix things that have issues. From past experience, that's because with the Model X, these gremlins would show up at random times, and if they don't show up at the service center, there's not much that they can do. How do you replicate an issue that's random and begin troubleshooting? So we will see. We will see. Hopefully that they'll look at the notes and they'll go and do the whole troubleshooting and replacing of the parts, because normally they do replace parts. They don't repair them. They replace. It's much more affordable for them because the parts are local. They're not imported or anything. It's the labor of the technicians that are expensive. So the quickest for them to resolve things is they just replace. So let's go see what they'll do and hope for the best. All right, we have arrived here at the Tesla service center. You know what's cool? As soon as I arrived there, it popped up with like service tips and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I've never noticed that. So it's probably something recent that they've added. But yes, we are here. Let's hope everything goes well today. All right, we have gotten a loaner. Actually, it's a 24-hour test drive. 2026 Model S long range in, is it Mystic Silver or Lunar Silver? I can't remember the name of these. They don't have, or is it Quicksilver? No, Quicksilver is only on the 3 and the Y. But anyway, 2026, and we're gonna be checking this out. All right, so I originally had intended to put the Model S video as part of the service video, but it's gotten too long, so I made it a separate video. All right, we are back here at the service center. The Y is outside. It's not being worked on. I don't know if they're still waiting for parts, but we had to drop off the Model S. And hopefully that window is closed because it might rain later today. Let's go and just take a look real quick. All right, they did close it. Just want to make sure. So I got here. It turns out they finished it last night, but they just wanted a lead tech to inspect. So that's something, if I remember, I always try to request for, because I just, you know, from past videos, you've seen it. I mean, I get the cars back in in a different shape. So I try to remember to ask for it, and this time around they wanted to do it. Waited the next day just so that a lead tech can really inspect it. But they did replace a harness. There was an issue. We'll go over the invoice next part of the video, but there she is. That's why it was parked here when I got here and it wasn't being worked on, because it was already completed, just waiting for that inspection. So I appreciate them adding that. I wish that they had add that inspection in all service visits. So I guess it turns out you can request for it if you know the service advisor. So I mean, that's the good thing, I guess, about coming to service a lot, is you get to meet service advisors. But yeah, try to request an additional inspection, because, you know, you never know. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna get back in I miss my car, so we're gonna get back in. Let's go. All right, so let's go over the invoice. Basically what they did is they removed and replaced a harness. So the issue was verified by the technician. Door was functioning as expected. The cause was identified as a soft set in the door harness, which was recommended for replacement during a previous mobile visit. The technician adjusted the exterior trim and replaced the rear left-hand door harness to resolve the issue. This is also affecting the windows from rolling down when you open the door. So they're all connected. But basically, yeah, they replaced it. They didn't even try to troubleshoot it. Like I said, it's more cheaper for Tesla to just replace than for them to troubleshoot and, you know, fix, repair, all that. They just replace. For the most part, that's what they do, and that's what I've experienced in many of my service visits. They just replace it. I inspected the vehicle. Looks like everything is in shape. Things are where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to work. So again, yeah, they did have a lead technician inspect it. So I suggest, if it is possible, to request that if you ever have any issues in the past with getting your car back in a different condition as you are expecting. But if you don't have that issue, then you don't really need to worry about it. But if you did experience issues like that where other things ends up happening, yeah, try to request a lead technician to do a visual inspection before picking up the car. I was told that the car was actually done last night. It's just because of that lead technician inspection, they needed to keep the car overnight because the lead technician wasn't available until the following morning, which was fine by me. Happy once again. Hopefully the gremlins don't come back, but that's it for this video. But thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.